This week I'm going to be finishing this month's topic of your website by talking about the things that you need to do to your website in order to optimise its impact and value to your business. I'm Colette Broomhead, a business coach helping hopeful entrepreneurs who want to quit their 9-to-5 for good and build a business and life that they love. And this is Business Class Monday. So today I'm going to be going through 8 things that you should be doing on your website on a regular basis in order that it's going to be in tip-top condition and doing everything that it possibly can to boost your business. So, in no particular order, although perhaps number 1 is one of the most important ones. Number 1, add content. So I've mentioned it in previous videos this month, but content is key for your website because it helps search engines to understand what your website is about and send the right people to it. Send your ideal customers straight to your website so that they can see what you're all about. So adding content, that can be in the form of pages, so making sure that you've got those kind of key pages there on your website, like your about page, your sales page, products and services page, but also things like a blog where you can be adding value and giving your ideal customers really valuable information that's going to make them love you. And number 2, not just adding content, but updating content, making sure that everything on your website is still valid, it's still true. So again, that goes back to your about page. Is what you wrote back when you first set up your website still true? Maybe more's happened, maybe you need to add more information. Your blog posts, is the information that you talked about last year still relevant? Is it still correct? Could there be more that you could update it with? Search engines love information that is up to date, that is current and is going to be relevant to the people looking for information on your topic. So make sure that you're always going through your website and keeping it up to date and as relevant and appropriate and as useful as possible for your ideal customers. Okay, number 3. So number 3, it's really important that you keep all your plugins and themes updated. So I use WordPress and I will get a notification whenever one of those things needs updated, and it literally, it takes a matter of minutes, if that. And it's so important because if the plugins or the themes that you're using are not up to date, A, you could be missing out on new features, but B, it can in some cases cause a security risk to your website. So it's really key that you keep all of those things up to date. As soon as you know that something needs updating, get in there and get it done. And number 4, make sure you're keeping a backup of your website. Because can you imagine the trauma, the sadness, the just frankly too awfulness to imagine should you lose your website, should something go wrong, should it be hacked, and all that wonderful, beautiful content that you've spent hours on, gone, poof, with no backup. I can't even bring myself to think about it, the horror. So make sure that you are backing up the information on your website. So should the worst happen, you've got it all there and it's just a case of putting it all back again. Number 5, on a regular basis, you should be checking your website for broken links. So broken links can happen for a number of reasons. For example, if you've gone back and changed one of your URLs for whatever reason, then the old URL will no longer work unless you've set up a redirect. Or you may be linking to other people's websites and other people's articles, and they may have changed theirs or they may have taken them down. So make sure that all the links that you've got on your website are fully functional. It could just be that when you at first added the link, you mistyped it or whatever. You can literally go onto Google and just type in link checker or something like that, and you'll find services that you can use free, that you can use to they'll kind of scan your website and tell you if any of the links aren't working. So that's a really key thing to do. every kind of couple of months or so, just to make sure that you're keeping all those links working, because there's nothing more frustrating if you're someone visiting someone's website than getting all excited about a link that you want to click on only for it not to work. Something else that you should be doing on a regular basis is reviewing the security that you have for your website, making sure that you have as much protection in place against hackers, and people are constantly trying to access people's websites and use them for their own dastardly reasons. So make sure that yours is protected. If you're using plugins or external services, make sure they're up to date, make sure they're working, and make sure that your website is as secure as it can be, so that you don't have to go through that heartache of having your website hacked. Number 7. So number 7 is something which is also really important, but not necessarily something that a lot of us do, and that's checking the speed of your website. So the speed with which your website loads is absolutely key, down to kind of milliseconds. If people are impatient these days, we're living in a world of everything being now, and if people have to wait just a millisecond too long for your page to load, they will click away and they will go somewhere else. So on a regular basis, again every couple of months or so, be testing the speed of your website. And if it's starting to get a bit slow, look at ways that you can increase its speed, whatever they may be. Just make sure that you have front of mind on a regular basis, checking the speed of your website and making sure that it's not loading too slowly. And then lastly, number 8, A/B testing. So again, this is something that probably not a lot of people do, but having come from a kind of corporate background, it was standard practice. We had whole teams of people who would, their sole purpose was to test, just one page, just test different lines of content to see which works better, different images which works better. Now you may not have the functionality to do all of that, but you look for where you can find things that you can use to test different headlines. I use Thrive Themes, and they have a headline tester, so you can put in as many headline options for a blog post, and it will test and it will tell you which one is clicked on more often, and it will then show that one more often to people. Be testing, test different ways of doing things, test as much as you can, so that you can see what works best. Don't just assume what your ideal customer likes, test. Obviously ask them too, but you can also discover an awful lot by testing different things. So those are my 8 things that you should be doing on a regular basis with your website, and thus ends our website month. Next month I'm going to be talking about blogging, and over the course of this month you'll know that I've talked about how key blogging is both to your website but to your business as a whole. So I'm really excited to get stuck into that. I'll also be doing my live Q&A in Business Class, my Facebook group, this Thursday at 6:30 p.m. That's British Standard Time. So if you're not already a member of Business Class, do come and join, and I hope I'll see you there. So I'll see you next week. Life's too short not to spend it doing the things that you love. Bye.